So if there was ever a time I needed an adventure, it's now. This year's been absolutely crazy. The virus and the lockdown has meant that this year hasn't really got going. We had a trip booked in April, which was postponed, and they gave us a date of the end of June, which at the time looked good. But in the weeks leading up to this trip, it's just been up and down, on and off. It's been such a roller coaster. I've been close to tears at times. We almost booked a lake over here in the UK because we didn't think it was going to go ahead, but thankfully people have been using their loaf and the numbers of cases have dropped and things are starting to reopen again. And the border to France is one of the things that opened 4 days ago. So thankfully we're going tonight. It's tea time now. It's about 4:30, 5:15, and my ferry across to Calais is at 5 to midnight. Going back to the Sanctuary, back to Adam's place, and I'm really excited about this trip because we're on the small lake. So fingers crossed we're going to have a go and see if we can catch our first 40-pound carp ever. There's loads in there. I didn't get lucky last time I was there because I was seriously undergunned on that first trip. Had a fantastic trip, but just didn't get amongst the big fish. And then the last couple of trips I've been on the bigger lake, and again I've had some amazing trips out there. It's been absolutely fantastic, but the jewel in the crown is that small lake, and every time I walk past it and peer into the water, it's just magic. So going to be fishing that lake for 7 days as of this weekend. So I'm just going to load the car up now, then I'm going to head to my parents and load up with all the fishing stuff. Then I'm going to get myself down to Dover, and fingers crossed all going well, we'll be across into France for about 2:30 in the morning, and then travel on through to Adam's place in convoy because I'm meeting the other guys over there. So I'm going to stop waffling now, and I'm going to load the car up, get going, and I'll see you when I next do a little piece for the camera. Just made a little stop at Canterbury Services and had a KFC, as you do. I'm probably about half an hour from Dover now, but I'm really early. The time is, let's have a look, 10 to 9. I think my ferry's at 5 to midnight, and I've got to get there about an hour before, so I'm early. A couple of hours early, but I'd rather be early than hanging about. I don't like hanging about. I'd rather just get there and hang about. But yeah, I'm getting excited now. Still bricking it as well at the same time. Well, there's some guys out there fishing at the moment that got out fine, but they went out via the tunnel, and I'm going via the ferry. So it's yet to be tested, I think. So we will see. We will see how we get on. But yeah, now I'm fed and watered, I'm going to head off for the rest of the journey, get to Dover, get to the port, and see if I can get and sit somewhere or check in or whatever it is you do. Go and check out the lie of the land. Guys, we're here. We are in France. Been in a service station for probably a couple of hours. Thought we'd stop at a service station. Lee mentioned this one, which is about an hour from Calais, and they were about an hour behind me on the tunnel. My boat was about half an hour before them, so I waited for them. We met up here and we've just pulled up basically and got our head down for a couple of hours, hour and a half. And feel nice and refreshed now, so not going to be driving tired and not going to be driving through the night. Sun's coming up. I'll just see if I can spin you around and show you. Sun's coming up just over there by that windmill thing, and incidentally they said stop at this one because there's a lake behind the petrol station where the Nash boys done a bit of fishing when they did one of their videos, but it appears that they've been emptied. They've been drained down for some reason. We're going to get in convoy, we're going to get there, and we're going to have a look. And we're here. We made it. No more having kittens. We are in France. So we're here. We're at the supermarket. There's Lee over there. Oh, there's Lee doing his shopping. Say hello, Lee. Hey, say hello. There he is. Hey. We're in a supermarket at the moment, which is about 5 minutes down the road from Adam's place. Just getting a few bits and pieces, orange juice, ham, bit of bread, the usual. So I'll speak to you again when we're down the lake.
Stocky, it's coming in too easy, might be a tench. Don't go over my spots. This is Stu, I'm not going to put any rods out tonight.
I thought I should.
Stu, I might just flick one down the margin.
Yes. It went from, I'm not going to put any rods out, I'm going to put one on the floor, I'm going to put one in the margin, and now I've got all three out on the far bank.
Sticky one, kid.
Yeah. And now I'm letting the fish kite all the way over to the island where I am. So he's going to wipe out all my lines.
So there we go, first night result. Spent the first night on the big lake. Just had a barbecue and a few beers. Decided to put a couple of rods out with pop-ups on just over on the far bank. And just while we're having a chin wag, this one ripped off. 22.5 pound. Great start to the week.
I christen this fish
Foster's! So guys, welcome to the Sanctuary. The holiday starts now, although we've been here a day and we fished up on the big lake for last night and had a social and a barbecue and caught a couple of fish. It starts now. I'm on the small lake. This is the one where all the gems are. This is where the magic is. This is where there are loads of big fish to go at. I fished it originally 3 years ago, undergunned with the wrong tackle. I've done the wrong end of the lake as well. I make all my excuses now, I know, but fish were down this end, the wind was pushing down this end, and I'm saying this end because I've come out second in the draw, and peg 5 looked like the hot spot, and I thought it was going to go, but Simon, who pulled out peg first choice of swim, opted for peg 1. That did a couple of fish this morning and looks pretty good. I think 1 or 5 were going to be the ones that everyone wanted. I've got a second choice and got in peg 5, and I'm chuffed to bits. Got some lovely far margin to fish. The wind's pushing down this end at the moment. It's been swirling, it's sort of like changing around and around. But I am so excited to be here. Just set up the swim, just put the bivvy up. Just got the bed chair in and sort of sorted out everything where it needs to be. And now it's a case of calibrating the spots. I don't think I'm going to start fishing until after tea. I think it's going to be a case of go around the far bank, have a little look, have a little mooch, see what's what, see if I can spot any fish, see if I can see any signs of fish, work out where I'm going to cast, how I'm going to go about applying it, gut feeling is that I'm going to cast onto the bank, and with a bait and spoon I'm going to drop the rigs and the bait onto the spots, nice and stealthy, no casting, no spomming, just dropping it out of a cup, coming back round, tightening up, and then keeping everything dead quiet. And I've got 7 days ahead of me. 7 days to make it happen. 7 days, hopefully, to catch a new PB. New PB common would be anything over £30 really. PB mirror would be anything over 36. And if I could catch my first 40 this week, wow. I think that would make a title for a video, don't you? The 3 guys that have been fishing on here this week, they've only done 5 days, but they've all caught 40s. And Tony in this swim had a 48 and a 42. So it bodes well, but no 2 weeks are the same. But yeah, I'm going to stop waffling now. I need to get back up to the lodge, get a couple of bits, fill up the bottle of water so I can have some tea. And then I'm going to spend some time over on that far bank having a little look, seeing where it's going to be safe to cast, because there's a lot of overgrown stuff on that bank. Got to be a little bit careful. But yeah, excited. So I'm just at the end of the lake at the moment, past peg 1. We've just come up to the lodge to have a barbecue, bit of food, a couple of drinks, just to celebrate the new week. And then we're going to get back and put the rods out. All the rods are sorted now. I've spent the last couple of hours calibrating the spots, getting everything clipped up, marked up, baiting up spots, and generally getting everything ready. So excited. Can't wait to get going. But it's kind of tradition just to have a little bit of a get together first. So from where we are right now, I'm fishing right at the opposite end of the lake. So it's nice and quiet down there. When I get back, I can just ping 2 rods out. I'm only going to fish 2, and that was Adam's suggestion. Not too many lines in the water. It's this very, very tight spot up there. It's a very little sort of an end swim, loads of cover, and I think if there's too many lines in the water, it's not going to do it any favours. The fish probably run a mile. So I haven't gone too much heavy with the bait either, because Tony that was in there last week put a fair bit of bait in. I don't think he caught anything for the last couple of days. So the feeling is that there's still quite a bit of bait left out there, possibly. So the last thing I want to do is go putting a load of bait on top of that. But this is gorgeous. Can't hear a lot. Just the crickets and the birds singing. And them lot chinwagging up at the lodge. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great week. Scary to think what is swimming around in here and what could end up in my landing net. I think I've said before, but PB common's just over £30, PB mirror's just over 36, and I think most of the 130 fish that are in this lake are over them sizes. I think every other fish is a 40. Just need to get amongst them. I think I'm in the right peg. I'm in the peg that I wanted, because when I've come down for the last 2 years, I was fishing the other lake. Obviously the causeway of that lake is where peg 5's water is. So every time I've gone around the far bank to bait up, or to go and have a stalk or whatever, just walk past that causeway and peer into the water there. Gently, because obviously somebody's been fishing there, but just to walk past and have a quick glimpse. And it's like this magical place that I'll never ever get to fish. I'm here and I'm actually fishing that peg now. It feels really, really good, really excited. Just don't want to balls it up, you know. So easy to get halfway through the week and you haven't caught anything, and you're just thinking, oh, what have I done wrong? And start ringing the changes, and 9 times out of 10 the fish just aren't up that end of the lake. In the second half of the week they can turn up. So I'm just going to stick to my guns, bait very, very slowly. I'm going to fish from tea time, I think, through till mid-morning, and then get the lines out of the water, do some chilling out, go for a wander, bait up spots before going for tea, and then when I get back from tea, put the rods back up. I think that's the routine that I'm going to go through to try and maximise the chances down there. But yeah, really looking forward to it. So I'm showered, fed and back in the swim again. Rods are out. Had a little bit of trouble with the left down rod. It's right over the far bank in a gap between some trees. And there's a group of about 6 or 8 ducks that have come along. I know Tony that was in before me had a bit of trouble with them. And I was really tired, so I was just having a little bit of a snooze on the bed chair. And I heard a series of bleeps come running out in my socks. Got my socks wet on the floor. And but it was just the ducks picking up my baits. Tightened up the line and then they kept on diving, so I just had to wind it in and recast. And the lead landings just spooked them off underneath the trees, but I don't know if they're going to come back out again. Which is a bit of a pain. There's another spot that I've baited up just about 10 yards along the bank, same sort of range. So I haven't seen them visiting that spot, and I think it's because Tony was fishing that spot and they've got used to finding some food down there. So if I have to switch the spot along the bank a little bit further, I'm not bothered that I can do that. But it's that lovely early evening, about 7, half 7, something like that. It's not going to get dark until about 11 o'clock, not properly dark anyway. How about that for a backdrop then? Just watch the most magnificent sunset. Just going into the first night. I've got my jacket on now. I didn't put it on because I'm cold, I put it on because of the mosquitoes. I got bitten last night, so I didn't want any more. Still, that bite that I got last night is still playing me up now. I don't react too well to them, so I've got to try and safeguard myself. A little bit of a liner. His rod was there. Left hand rod. Absolutely beautiful here. The first night always feels good because you've got such a long time ahead of you. But as you clock up the nights, when you get to about Wednesday, Thursday, and you can see the end of the session, start getting a bit twitchy. Hopefully we can put something on the bank before that. From what I can gather, Tony had a good first half of the week in here. The second half has been quiet, with the fish moving down the other end of the lake and the people down that end of the lake catching fish. And at the moment, from all the crashing that's gone on today down the other end of the lake, I think that's still the case. But just as Adam said, you've only got to get a new fresh wind spring up and start coming down this way, and the fish can show up again. It's kind of what I'm hoping for. I'm going to sit out for a bit longer tonight. Have a listen to the owls and the bats. Watch the bats fly around, listen to the owls. Should be long now. And I did see a hoopoe tonight. My first ever hoopoe I've seen fly across the lake. If you don't know what one is, look it up. Hoopoe. H-O-O-P-O-E. Morning guys, it's after 10 o'clock now, it's mid-morning. I'm bitten by mosquitoes, I hate the things. Yeah, I had a really good night's sleep and I've been snoozing all morning. I'm going to wind in a minute I think and go and have some breakfast. But I've been tormented by the ducks, more than I'd like to have. I wanted to keep it all nice and low-key and quiet in this swim. It's an end peg and I just wanted to be a little bit more stealthy than I've been. The ducks have been diving on the baits, picking up the baits. And they're damaging the baits as well, trying to get them off the hair. So I've had to wind in, rebait up and cast back out a few times, more times than I wanted to. But it's been quiet around the lake. There's been one fish out, Lee's had a fish and he's lost one in peg 3. Apart from that, it's been very, very quiet so far. But we only started fishing about 7 o'clock last night, so we've only done one night. But it's beautiful, it's overcast today, so it's not blazing hot, it's not too hot. Lovely sunrise this morning. The sky was all pink and beautiful. And been watching a few birds flying around and just listening to stuff, chilling. Opened my Father's Day cards that I brought with me. That was amazing. So yeah, a bit of breakfast I think, bit of a clean up, and then devise a plan for the day. I don't know if you can see that behind me, but a fresh wind has sprung up and it's pushing down my end of the lake now, which has made me kind of reluctant to wind in. I was going to wind in at 10 o'clock and go and get some breakfast down at the hut, and then sort my spots out and everything ready for tonight, but it looks really good at the moment, so I am reluctant to wind in. You just never know. So good evening, it's Sunday evening now, and we've been fishing for about 24 hours now. We put the rods out after the barbecue yesterday at about this time. In that time, I think Lee he lost a fish at about 3 o'clock this morning, and he had a mirror, a 30-pound mirror, about 5 o'clock this morning ish. And that's the only fish activity we've had so far between the four of us. But I baited up when I wound in at lunchtime. Been up to the hut for about 4 hours. Had a bit of lunch, had a little bit of a chinwag with the guys. Then we had a bit of a barbecue, and then we set off back to the swims about 5 o'clock, a little bit earlier tonight, to get the rods out. Really excited as to what could turn up. Don't know where they're going to turn up. Definitely fish showing out in front of pegs 2 and 3 down the other end of the lake. But the wind is doing some weird stuff at the moment. It's kind of swirly. 1 minute it's pushing this way, the other minute it's pushing the other way. Excuse me for yawning. I've really been using this trip as a catch up on some sleep. I needed the trip for some rest, catch up on some respite, and I've been doing that as well. I've been doing nothing but snooze. Bedshirt's been well used, but that's what it's all about. The traps are set, they're doing their thing. I've been sitting out here watching the water. I've been in there snoozing. I've been making cups of tea. I've been up at the hut, socialising. It's been great. Same, I've only been here for 24 hours as well. A different day today. Not as hot as it was yesterday. It's been overcast. Looks like it might even threaten to rain. But it's them carpy conditions, if you can call it that. So good morning guys, Monday morning now. Still early in the session, very very quiet down here for me at the moment though. But there has been some activity in the group down the other end of the lake in peg 1. Simon had one last night at £41.6, and this morning Lee's had a 44 in peg 3. So great to see a couple of fish come out on the bank. I didn't see them myself, but I've seen the pictures of them and they're lovely fish, big fish, very big fish. But no, it doesn't look like they've turned up down my end of the lake just yet. Me and Tony were fishing pegs 4 and 5. And we're yet to get off the mark, and we've both said that all the fish that we can hear crashing are down the other end of the lake, so it's a bit of a waiting game. If the wind springs up again, maybe they might push down this way, and if we get some hot afternoons, apparently this is the shallow end of the lake, so they could mooch up here in the afternoon. What I've been doing is going down to the lodge between sort of midday and 6 o'clock and just spending a few hours down there chilling, resting the swim and having some food and stuff, but kind of thinking that might be the window that the fish arrive in, and I've got to be down there fishing then, so I'm going to make sure I've got enough provisions down there so I can spend the next 24 hours in this swim fishing. And if I can find the window of when they're going to be down here and feeding, if they are down here feeding, then I need to be sat here with the rods out and not up at the lodge having a social. It is a holiday, but at the same time I want to go home with a fish under my belt. So I've decided to be self-sufficient today and stay in the swim. I've been down the hut already. I went round, it's about 10:30 now I think. I've been down, got my frying pan, got my batteries that were on charge, got my water topped up, and I've got everything I need to stay here for the day. Redone all the spots, got some bait out there. So if they turn up now throughout the day, whatever time of day they turn up, if they turn up, I'll be here ready for them. Then hopefully I can work out a pattern of when they're going to be here and when they're not. But today's going to be a warm day, and by all accounts, being the shallow end of the lake, this is where they like to go when it's warm. But tomorrow and the next day, so Tuesday and Wednesday, are going to be hot. They're going to be 30 degrees. So fingers crossed, fish will move out from down that end, which is where they are predominantly now. All the crashing, even all morning, it's been going on down that end of the lake. And mostly in front of Peg 2 where there's no anglers. They're not silly, these fish. But sod's law, as soon as you jump into Peg 2 and start putting leads out there, they're going to move off and probably go into this if it's an empty peg. So it's best just to sit on your hands and wait for them to acclimatise to the fact that there's anglers around. Everyone settles down and they're quiet, then the fish can have a little mooch about, and hopefully we can start to pick some off. I'm just going to finish these sausages, make a cup of tea, and then kick back and relax. And the sun sets on another day at the sanctuary, so that's Monday over. Just going into Monday evening now. Sheep are being really noisy on the far bank. The birds are still singing well. The birds have sung all day. It's been beautiful. The frogs have been noisy too. And the carp have been noisy, but down the other end of the lake. I've stayed in the swim and fished all day today. And out in front of me I've seen one fish crash. Probably about 30 or 40 crashed down the other end of the lake. So no, they're not up this end yet. The majority of them are down the other end of the lake, that's for sure. But it only takes something to trigger them to come down this end, and I could have a couple of fish, you know. It's just going to take one fish, I think, to make my week. It's been a really good average. We've had 3 fish out so far. Last fish out was Lee's one early this morning at £44. And then yesterday morning he had one at £30. I think morning is his time. And then yesterday evening Simon down in Peg 1 had one at £41. And I think, I'm not sure, but I think I might have heard a bit of a cheer go up. And at the same time today he might have just had one. But I can't be sure of that just yet. But I've just had some tea, just had some ravioli and a cup of tea. Fresh bait's out there, fresh bait on the spots. Ducks are leaving me alone now. The ducks have actually started to pester the others now. So I'm going to sit on this chair at the edge of the swim, watch the water, and hope that the bobbins start dancing. Fingers crossed. Morning guys, and happy Tuesday. Another really good night's sleep, unfortunately. In the middle of the night I looked out, there's quite a lot of stars out last night, and I know Lee got some really good pictures of the Milky Way and stuff. But I had a couple of liners on the middle and the left hand rod, a couple of liners which had me reaching for my shoes and diving out, but didn't come to anything. I had that one fish crash yesterday tea time, just out in front. And apart from that, it's been really quiet. I did get bitten on the ankle, which is quite sore. I woke up to beautiful, beautiful blue sky, not a cloud. Yesterday there were a few little, excuse me, yesterday there were a few little fluffy clouds drifting about, but today nothing. No wind, no clouds, sunshine, and loads of that white fluff all over the surface which clings to your line. It's quite annoying, that stuff. Remember when I fished Yateley and the bays used to get full of it and you couldn't fish in there. It's not that bad, but yeah. So the plan for the day, we're Tuesday morning now. We've gone Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. So we've still got a good chunk of time left. I think this morning, I was bivvy bound yesterday. Went down to the lodge very quickly just to pick up a few bits and pieces. And made sure I had enough provisions to spend the whole day. Ooh. A lot of the time, it's really weird, I've been watching it and there's little rudd or roach, little silverfish, and they'll attack the point where your line touches the water, where it enters the water, creates like a little dip, and they'll just have a little go at that, and it's enough sometimes just to get a single bleep. Yeah, I had enough to be self-sufficient and spend the whole day in the swim yesterday, just in case by going up for tea or anything like that I was away for bite time. You've got to find a bit of a pattern, and Simon had another fish last night, so that's 2 evenings he's had 2 fish around the same time. Lee had a £30 mirror on the first morning and then a £44 mirror yesterday morning, so it's kind of working out the pattern and working out the feeding times in your particular area of the lake. I think that's what I wanted to do yesterday, and it seems there isn't one at the moment. And again, this morning I've been hearing bosh, 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 looking up, seeing the ripples out in front of Peg 2. So I think the majority of the fish are down that end. Excuse me, I'm scratching my ankles, but I think I've been bitten on both of them actually. That was when I was sat out in the evening. You can't help getting bitten on the ankles, unfortunately. So the plan for the day is I'm going to wind in this morning. I'm going to go down to the lodge. I'm going to top up on some bait. I'm going to have a clean up. I'm going to pop down to the supermarket, get myself a few bits because I'm starting to get a bit low on food now. I've got some pizzas and things, but that means getting down the lodge, and if I want to spend the time in the swim now, and you know, I've still got to be sat here because I still haven't worked out a pattern of when they're going to be here. I need to be sat here for when they do turn up. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to be a little bit unsociable for the rest of the trip until I can find a formula that works. But I'm having an absolutely fantastic break. It is just the most spectacular place to spend a few days if you need to unwind and chill out. There's no better place. But at the same time, it would be nice to go home with a fish under my belt. So I'm going to go all out to try and catch something. So I'm going to get down to the supermarket. I'm going to make sure I've got enough stuff so that I can have some varied dinners down here. If I just eat sausages in the morning and ravioli and tea time, I'm going to get bored with that after a couple of days. So I'm going to get some variation. I need to pick up some more milk. Haribo I'm getting low on. The essentials. And then I'm going to, get back to the swim, pop them back out. I'm happy with where they are. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm fishing double bottom baits. Nothing too blatant, nothing too pink or yellow. It's just match the hatch. I'm catapulting baits out there, so I'm not fishing little tight piles that they can spook off of. I've got a nice bed of bait, a nice area of bait for them to come across and have a bit of a graze. I'm fishing nice slack lines, so I haven't got bowstring tight lines going through the swim. Literally, the line is still doing it now, just drooping off the rod tip. That line that I've got is Barkley line, and it's £18. It's quite thick. It's 0.40. And it is quite heavy line. When I first started using it, I spooled it up on Friday night and fished it on the big lake, and it took a while for it to sink, but now it's got wet and it's taken on a bit of moisture. I cast out, dip the rod tip, and it's under, it's gone. Just had a little bit of float fishing. This little stream behind Adams Lake. Just caught this lovely little chunky common. Brilliant on float tackle. Really big shoulders. What a fish that is. Incredible. And didn't it scrap? Well pleased. I just caught another one in the little stream. Really long wildy mirror, that one. Really long and lean and floppy and great fun. That's really floppy. Give a good account of himself as well. Awesome. See how quick they were on it though. Then they put the float down,
Didn't hesitate that, did it?
No, the float just carried on going, didn't it?
Yes, mate.
Come in, number one.
Look at that little beauty. Could do that all day, couldn't you?
Yeah, boy. Right, let's get up on the soft grass up here.
Oh. You know, you can sit behind rods for days on end, mate.
Yeah.
And you get a smile on your face when you get them in, don't you?
Yeah.
But when you do something like this,
It's exciting.
they don't have to be big.
It's like being a kid again.
Look at it. Absolutely perfect, that. Let's get her back.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Spot on. Good evening, guys. You just caught me toasting some sausage on the old fire. It's been a lazy day. Spent the whole day up here yesterday fishing, trying to work out when the window is, when the feeding window. But there wasn't one. And then fish were just relentlessly jumping up that end of the lake. So today I decided to rest the swim. I wound in at 10 o'clock and I've been doing some fishing over the back in the little stream that runs adjacent to the fishery. Had a common in the mirror, probably about £5 or £6 a piece. Bit of fun, float fishing with some sweet corn. Had some breakfast down at the lodge. Went out to the shop, got some supplies. Just had a barbecue with the guys. I think I left the swim about 10 o'clock this morning. And I left the lodge about 7 o'clock this evening to come back up here. So I've been down there for a good portion of the day. I think I might have burnt that one a little bit. Happy right. So yeah, the fish have definitely been moving down this end. There's definitely been a few crashing out down this end. And only about 20 minutes ago I saw one not too far away from my left hand rod. So fingers crossed, they're all out on spots for the night. They're baited up. Got a little fire going. Nothing too hectic, just a little one. Toast a few of these, have a few cups of tea. Enjoy the holiday. Tuesday night now, so I've got tonight, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night. Go home Saturday morning, so still plenty of time. And these are amazing. So it took us a couple of days, but we've finally got off the mark, and here we have her, 34-pound mirror, really old one. And I think I recognise her as the one that I had in 2017 on my first visit. So out of the 100 and odd fish that are in here, I've had a repeat capture, believe it or not. But yeah, stunning old fish. Lovely to see her again and good to get off the mark. Proper chuffed. Happy days. So good afternoon, and it is absolutely stifling. I think it's mid-30s. But it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday. That's the beauty of being on holiday, you can just forget what day it is. Obviously you've got to keep an eye on it because you need to know when you've got to go home. But yeah, it is so hot today. Wound in this morning about, I think about 9 o'clock, half 9. Went down, had some breakfast. Went up shop, got some dinner for tonight. Took Lee down to the stream and had a little bit of a fish down there, and he caught a little common. And now it's 3 o'clock, I'm back in the swim, I've baited the spots up. I've got the rods out, ready for the night. But it's a completely different day to yesterday. There's nothing showing up here. The wind, there's a very, very gentle breeze, but what breeze there is going up the other end. And Simon in Peg 1's had 2 fish today. So I think what fish had a little mooch down here yesterday, I've gone back down the other end. Hopefully around tea time, later on as it starts to cool down a little bit. Might see a few signs out here, but there was fish there last night. I'm not sure if they're going to turn up tonight. I hope they do. I hope they do. Everything's calibrated, everything's on the spot, so all on the money. Bait's working, rig's working because I caught a fish last night. So it's just a case of the fish being there. I've got a feeling, because of the amount of liners I got last night, I've got a feeling I might have just been overshooting the cast a little bit, and my main line might have been trailing through the baited spot, and I got a feeling it was getting picked up by pecks and things, and maybe that's why I was getting so many single bleeps. Middle rod, when I wound it in this morning, incidentally, the piece of silicone that I have down on the bend to help the hook turn, that was all the way up down by the shank, so I've got a feeling I got done with that one. That's obviously been picked up, shaken and got rid of before I had a chance to get on it. So yeah, food for thought. But now it's all about, it's like a greenhouse in the bivvy. So I've got the bait and the cool box out here in the shade. At least out here in the shade there's a little bit of a breeze. In the bivvy it's just like a greenhouse in there, and there's no breeze going through, so it's really hot in there, it's like an oven. I'm just going to sit out here for a bit, enjoy the day, might even have a little bit of a snooze. Guys, I've just had some total carnage in the swim. I've had 2 rods go off at once. Tony's come round, absolute legend, helped me out, landed both of them. First one, 23.5 pound fully scaled, scaly, linear type thing, absolute stunner of a fish. Absolutely brilliant. Made up with that, what a fish that is. That's the ones that this lake's famous for. Beautiful fish. But it's also got some big fish in. Look, the one I've got in the other net. Wait till you see this one. You ready?
1, 2, 3.
52. 52.
She's
£47 1 ounce.
Boom!
Oh, mate.
Boom! Oh my good lord.
Oh, hell.
So guys, the dream when I came out here was to catch my first ever £40 carp. And if I couldn't do that, I wanted to beat my 36.5 pound PB. And I've just smashed it with a big fat mirror carp, beautiful fish as well, of £47 1 ounce. And there she is. Look at that. That is heavy. That is so heavy. That's incredible. Mwah. Wow. Look at that. That is awesome. That is so heavy as well. Do you want to get a couple on my phone for me?
Yep.
Thanks,
Oh, you've
mate.
got dry hands, Jen. It's the same
Oh,
phone
yeah.
as me. On portrait.
My God. All right. Oh, oops. Sorry. Come here, mate.
That's cool.
Oh, let's have a look. It is absolutely roasting today. I am melting. It is 35 degrees this afternoon, and even in the shade it's hot. I can't keep drinks cold. I've got to drink them quickly. I'm still buzzing from yesterday. Those captures were amazing. One was probably the prettiest fish I've ever caught, and the other was the biggest fish I've ever caught. So what a brace. But once the carnage was over and the fish were back in the lake, I had to get myself down the shower block, get myself cleaned up, get myself changed, get back, and then I had to make a couple of new rigs, get the rods wrapped out, get them back out on the spots, get a little bit of bait topped up around them, and by then it was dark. One cast landed in a tree and I quickly pulled it back and it plopped in the water. I got away with it. Went back out again and it hit the water. There was a splash. It clipped up, it's in the right direction, and it was good enough for me. Put them in the rests on the pod, and then I put the mozzie door down last night and had a really good night's sleep because there was nothing buzzing around my ear holes and getting on my nerves. Woke up this morning to a few bleeps, and the ducks had found one of my spots out there. So I wound them in shortly after sort of 9 o'clock. Got myself down the block, got cleaned up again. Because I think you keep yourself rinsed, it's just nice. Keeps you fresh. Got myself some bait out the freezer, had some breakfast. Had a little chill out down there, and I'm back now. It's after lunch. I'm going to do myself something to eat in a minute. But Tony, who was blanking up until this afternoon, decided to put a 3-foot zig out because there's quite a few fish cruising around, and she's picked up a 34-pound common. That's not to be sniffed at, is it? So I followed suit and I put two zig rigs out on about 3.5 foot. Little pink pop-ups. You never know. You never know. I don't think they're going to be down feeding on spots on bait at the moment. This is going to be too hot for them. I think they're going to get their heads down as it starts to cool down in the evening. So I'm probably going to give them zigs a couple of hours out there, and then about tea time I'll wind them in, put the rigs back on, wrap them back out and get them back out on their spots. Let's see if we can't emulate last night's success. So I'm a little bit wounded right now. You always are when you lose a fish, but when you lose a fish at a place like this, I had to take on the right hand rod. That's the third take on that rod, down in the far corner. And I've got the others in okay, but this one made it to the sunken branches and snagged me up. So I put the waders on and I waded along the margin a little bit, see if I could get a different angle, see if I could budge it, but it wouldn't move. Waded out into the lake a little bit to get a better angle, still nothing. I made it all the way across to the other side where the snaggy tree is, and by this point it's above my waders. I'm not treading water, but I've got a wader full of water. But I'd made it that far and I had to get to the fish, you know, just in case it was still on. Sorry, bit of a bleep. Got the wind hacking down here now, it looks really good. Yeah, so I got over to it, I felt the line down, then I got to the tubing, found the branch that the line was wrapped around, and it was quite easy for me to break the branch off underwater, like a dead branch. And as I did that, I felt the fish, and the fish moved out around to the right, and I felt a really sharp lunge, and the hook pulled, and I pulled the rig up, and the fish was gone. At least the fish isn't tethered. At least it's not trailing any line or a rig. That's the main thing. I think if I'd have not got in the water and pulled for a break, who knows. But yeah, so I went up, got myself cleaned up, emptied my waders, new clean set of clothes on, and now the rods are back out, they're baited up, and it's still early. I don't know what time it is, but I think it's about 5, half 5. And I think I got them 2 bites last night about 9 o'clock. Getting some liners. About 9 o'clock, so I think I've still got bite time to come. So if we can catch a fish tonight, then I think that loss will be forgotten about. Otherwise it's going to be there, churning away, grinding. After the captures last night I should be on cloud 9, but you're only as happy as your last capture or your last loss. I'm going to go and sit down there by the rods now because it looks pretty good. Well, as you can see, I've got the wind hacking down into my corner of the lake, which is a good sign on here apparently from what I've been told. It's about 6:30 now, and I had those bites last night about 9:30, about 9 o'clock. So with the liners I've been getting, that wind pushing down, and the fish that I lost earlier, I think it could be any time. Fingers crossed. I'm poised over the rods anyway. So, the penultimate night, Big Fish Thursday, so they call it. Been here before, haven't we? This is where the trip just runs away. Before you know it, you're going home. But still 2 nights, still 2 nights to go. Big Fish Thursday. Apparently this is the night when you're going to catch the fish of the trip. All the hard work and all the baiting strategies and everything else you've put into it from the beginning comes to fruition tonight, and you catch the fish of the trip. Well, if I ain't caught anything by midnight, I reckon that's a load of old tosh. But the fire's nice. I've had a little bit of a munch. I've had a cup of tea. I'm going to have another cup of tea in a minute, I think, and a few biscuits. Listen to the sheep and the owls. Watch the bats when it starts getting dusky. Because before you know it, be back to normal, back to work. I am missing the kids though, got to say. So, bivvy cam, and I think that's where I'm going to be for a while. They've given storms, I think they're here. It's really, really windy out there. The frogs are getting a bit twitchy, I can hear them. The sky's lighting up, and I can hear the rumble of thunder in the distance. I've got a feeling it's going to get quite hairy. Yeah, there we go. So what I've done is I've just preempted it a little bit, and I've gone out and I've put everything that's on the floor out there, bait, anything I could see outside basically. And all my bags that are inside, I've put them all in the boot of the car, just in case. These ground sheets that don't fit very well, I've had problems with them before where you have a bit of a river running through if you're on a slope and it really rains, and I've got a feeling it's coming. There's first few spots of rain. Yeah, so all I've got in here at the moment is stuff to make tea, a bivvy table with stuff on it, and the rods are out. That's it. I think we have to ride this out, and then it might improve the fishing. You never know. So I'm just having a bit of lunch now. That storm last night was mental. Really cool sitting out watching it through the mozzie mesh. There was rain and thunder and wind and lightning. It was brilliant. And I thought it would really switch the fish on, but it's been quiet again. The wind is hacking down the other end, and down the other end Simon's had a 45 pounder this morning. I was just going out the shop when he landed it, so I did the pictures for him. Another great big chunky fish, brilliant, really lovely fish too. Been down the shop and I've got some supplies to last me the rest of the session. Got some cold drinks in a cool box with some ice packs in. I've got some steak for tonight, and I've got some mushroom soup. It's got 3 different types of mushrooms in it. I won't try and pronounce them, but it's really nice. And I've got some French bread, which was still warm when I picked it up, so that was nice. So yeah, I'm self-sufficient now. I've got everything I need to see me out the rest of the session. Rods are out in the spots. Looks really quiet out there. Can't really see a great deal. Flies all over me. I hate flies. When I wound in this morning, one of the rods didn't have any bait on, and I've got a feeling because these baits go quite soft when they've been in the water for a while. Okay. I think the ducks, if the ducks get hold of them and squeeze them a little bit, they can get them off. So it's 5:30 now, tea time, just thinking about having some steak. And a message just come through from Adam, just saying batten down the hatches at 7 o'clock, we're due a storm. Another thunderstorm rolling in. Just messaged the guys just to let them know. And they said there's another one due after that at midnight as well. So I think it's going to be a stormy old night. So I think the plan is going to be to have some dinner, have the bare essentials inside the bivvy, and then pack everything else away in the car. Because we've got to be off in the morning. I think we've got to be away by 9 o'clock. I don't want to be faffing around with loads and loads of wet stuff in the morning. Loads of wet stuff in the car. Stinking. So I'm going to get put away what I can tonight. It's just, as I say, bare essentials. Stuff to make a cup of tea. Stuff to make some sausages in the morning. Before the off. And then ride out the storms. So that's it, all good things come to an end, and that is the end of a fantastic week's fishing. I caught some lovely fish, spent time with some lovely people, and I've really chilled out this week too. But I've got about an hour and a half now. I've got to wind down, pack down, get everything dried out, because we did have a couple of serious storm fronts come through last night, and then start the return leg of the journey. Thanks so much for watching, thanks for following this adventure, and I'll see you in the next one.